Hello and welcome to Still Got Legs, a Doctor Who Rewatch podcast brought to you by Another Happy Studios. Don't turn your back, don't look away, and don't blink. Hello everybody, welcome to Still Got Legs, the only Doctor Who podcast in the world. I had to close my eyes while the theme music was playing, because if I looked at you and you were dancing, I genuinely would have screamed at you.
Why? Why are you this angry?
I'm stressed. Welcome to the Doctor Who pod. My name's Nathan, that's Lawrence. Hello, hello, hello.
Hello. Your intro wrote itself this week. Was that a nice break for you?
Well, I wrote it. I decided to say... Well, I didn't write those words specifically, but I decided to say them, so it's as good as.
Yeah, it's true. You still had to think about having it handed to you.
Yes, exactly.
Well, it worked very nicely. I'm a big fan of you incorporating the title in the sentence.
Yes.
That was, to be honest, that was why I danced. I was so enthralled by that choice.
Can you just stop dancing?
In general, Nathan?
Just not in general, just whenever we record a podcast. I don't think there's any call for dancing whilst we're recording a podcast. If anything, it's probably the one time where dancing should not be permitted at all, really. It's not an environment that lends itself to dancing.
Right, I can't help it if this show is home to two bangers. It is home to two tunes that inspire my moves, and I want to get dancing when I hear them play.
All right, first of all, shout out to Dr Keyz on YouTube for providing the theme music. We didn't get in touch with him, we just found them, and he has a disclaimer saying, you can use this, just give me credit. So we used it and we gave him credit.
Is that the first time we've verbally given him credit?
No, I think we did it in probably the very first episode.
Okay, all right, we're clear then. We're fine.
We do write it in the description every single week in the podcast description, or we copy and paste it at least.
What was your second point?
I don't know, something against you. It was just shut up and stop dancing. it's that the theme song may be a banger, all right, but this is... I don't even know what episode this is because we don't number them for some reason, which is quite confusing. But we've been doing it for a while now. We've been doing this for a number of weeks, probably around about 40, 30, at least in the 30s, maybe. Yeah. Actually, I'm not sure. Where's somewhere?
I feel like it's more, isn't it?
13 and 13 is 26. Plus 2 Christmas specials, that's 28. And this is episode... Hello, everyone. This is Series 3, Episode 10 of Doctor Who. It's, of course, called Blink. It was written by Stephen Moffat, directed by Hetty MacDonald. There we go. That's out of the way. So this is...
I can't begin to tell you how pleasing of a segue that was.
Hold on. I'm going back to it. So it's 38 episodes. This is our 38th episode.
Okay. All right.
Okay. So that's that figured out. After hearing the theme 38 times, Lawrence, and more in edits and whatever, you would think that, you're used to it or whatever by now.
That's fine. But when you hear, how many times in your life have you heard, for example, the Cha-Cha Slide, the YMCA, the Ketchup Song, right? All of these bangers. Right.
Every time I hear the Cha-Cha Slide, I want to put 7 bullets into my head. Okay?
Okay.
Everyone's like, well, let's go. I'm like, let's not. All right? Let's sit down. Let's turn this song off.
Yeah.
And stop.
Okay.
All right?
Fair enough.
Okay.
All right, fine. Well, look, one time you told me that you come across as the mayor from Footloose, and I think that shows. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. Anyway, this is the first episode of Doctor Who in 22 years that was directed by a woman.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
So,
didn't we have that recently with the writer as well?
Yes. It was the first New Who writer. I think that was sometime earlier this season.
And also, I don't want this to come across as patronising at all, but what a way to show up for the women, right? What a way to, if this was the first female director on Doctor Who for a long time, what a fucking banger that is still being listed on, top 10 videos and stuff of the show, despite the revival having like an insane amount of episodes out now alone, as well as the classic stuff.
I'm just looking at my list now. It's the only. She is the only female director in series 3. The next one does not show up until like halfway into series 4. So, and I would say there's 2 episodes directed by women in series 4, which is technically true, but that it is the same woman, so it's still just one female director.
Is it a 2-parter?
It's not a 2-parter, no, though.
Oh,
so,
okay.
Yeah.
I can take some solace in that. I mean, it's still terrible. Those stats are still bad, quite bad.
And then the next one, like, very much towards the end of series 5. So,
Jesus Christ, does it get better? Does it get better at all?
Eventually. Like,
when does it become a consistent thing? What season?
Like series 11 or something.
Oh, fucking hell, man.
Yeah.
Oh, Lord. Okay. Well, that sucks. Where are you at with Blink?
It's all right.
Come on now.
Where are you at with Blink?
All right. Well, I wanted to, just before we go into the episode as a whole, I was going to take some time to sum up thoughts. So indulge me, if you will.
Well, I did just ask you that. But...
yeah, but I'm letting you know I might be here for a minute, all right? Okay?
Okay.
I'm saying, right, Blink is like I think it was one of like the first memories I remember of like watching Doctor Who and having that moment of like terror, right? This Blink is genuinely like a formative episode for me in terms of like just the genre of horror in general, right? I don't like horror movies. I'm very bad at them. No, but that's fine. I scare easy, right? And sometimes it doesn't even have to be particularly scary, but anything just more creepy than normal, right? This episode I blame because it scarred me as a child. I was staying at my auntie's and I stayed up all night and I was quite upset. And I think I had to be collected early in the morning just because I was not having a good time whatsoever. So I have, as a child, a horrible relationship with this episode. As an adult, it's a clear banger. It's easy top 10 contender so far of the entire show, easily. But yeah, I don't know. I've got a whole bunch of other reasons why I love it. But where are you at with it? Like where does it land for you?
It's pretty good.
Okay, have you got hot takes on Blink?
Not really.
Did this revisit hurt it for you?
Yeah, a little.
Oh, okay.
It's just I was excited to watch a very spooky episode, and I got quite excited for a very spooky time.
Yeah,
I watched it just before we recorded. It was very dark. I purposely turned off all the lights. I didn't have any of these lights that I've got on here now. I had my headphones on, and I watched it here all in the dark and stuff. And I was really excited for a fun, spooky time. I like a fun, spooky horror movie and stuff. And look, when I was a kid, I would have been, 12, 13 years old when this came out. And I specifically remember the first time I watched this, and I do remember being very scared by it when I was younger because I was out playing I was out playing the night that this episode aired, so I missed the actual airing of the episode, and I wasn't home until like 9, 10 or something like that. And then I got home, so I had to watch it on. I don't think iPlayer was out then, but it was whatever the Virgin Media like catch-up service was or whatever. Yeah. So I had to watch it on that. And like my mum had gone to bed. It was just me downstairs. The lights were off. It was very not very late, but late-ish for a child anyway.
Yeah.
And I was fucking terrified. I was like, this isn't Doctor Who. What the fuck is this?
Yeah.
What is this horror fest? And it was a very spooky time. I'm now a 29-year-old man, okay?
Yes.
And so watching this today, I was like, yeah, it's pretty scary, I guess. I was like, you know that episode of The Simpsons where they go to Australia and then Homer gets very excited towards like the world's largest beer, and then he puts the giant fucking beer can down in front of him, and he's like, "Yeah, it's pretty big, I guess." It's just like, I don't know. It just felt a little. Yeah.
Had you not rewatched it for a while?
The last time I rewatched this would have been, I don't know, a few years ago, roughly. Not quite sure, but not too long ago.
Fair. Yeah, no, I do know what you mean, because I, like, as an adult now, I did have the reaction of, like, oh, I don't know why I was that scared of it. Like, it's fine. I do think there's, like, I think that maybe a bit of, like, the shine has come off of it a little bit, in the sense that there's, like, normally, or at the start, it's creepy, and then towards the end it falls into, like, pure horror. But the pure horror they don't quite nail as much as they do the creepy setup of it.
Yes, which
I think is maybe, I mean, maybe a problem. I still think it's, like, narratively it's really well crafted. I love it for a lot more reasons than just scary weeping angels. So I wasn't as, like, underwhelmed as you were, apparently.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
I do think it's good that, like, I don't know if we've had many of these episodes. I'm wondering if you can jog my memory on any of them. The time travel show finally played with time travel in a narrative-centric way.
Well, this is what I was going to say. So I would have mentioned at some point on the show, I can't remember specifically when, but I've definitely mentioned it. This is Stephen Moffat's strength. He puts the time in the time travel. Like, he understands Doctor Who is a show about time travel, and he uses that to his advantage. He actually writes about time travel, and it's woven throughout his stories in a way that really, like, elevates the script to make use of it. So yeah, he's pretty much in his element here. Yeah,
it does come across, like, really interestingly as well. Like, it's, with it being, like, a Doctor Light episode, I've seen a lot of people say about this that it is, like, it can be. I think I saw a tweet yesterday even that said, like, it's entirely standalone. Like, you can get away with watching this having never seen an episode of Doctor Who, and then never watching Doctor Who again. And as long as you can buy that this man in a suit is a time traveler, then it completely works, like, on every level. I don't know. I really, really like it. I think it's, like,
I mean, yeah, I guess, but I don't care about that.
No, not. But, like, it is. What I'm saying is, it's a good one-off. I do think it. Maybe this is Stephen Moffat, because he does bring a more adult vibe to the show, which at this point is quite a cheesy show. But it does feel like a nice break in the format, which is normally just, you know, Martha. At this point, Martha and the Doctor do something. It can be a little bit cheesy, a little bit silly, a bit goofy. And now it feels like you're, like, Sally's, like, crying at, well, not crying, but, like, she's crying at, like, bedsides of, like, people she never got the chance to know. It does feel like a step up, like an elevated, more step into an adult theme, if that makes sense.
This is, you mentioned it briefly there, but this is the first Dr. Light episode that we've come across. An interesting format. What do you think about these Dr. Light episodes? These kind of, like, bottle, not really a bottle episode, but it is a kind of, like, let's save on the budget a little bit.
Yeah, it's definitely an excuse for Tennant to rest his legs a bit.
Yeah.
But
which
it's
he
also
has still got.
Yeah, very nice. Good incorporation.
Thank you.
I like them. I think they're often, like, they're a nice chance to, like, often the side characters in Doctor Who, in terms of, like, especially single episodes, like, a lot of the time in, like, two-parters, the characters are fleshed out quite nicely, but a lot of the time the one episode has got to talk about the Doctor, talk about Martha, talk about the concept, the setting, and the location, and everything else, that sometimes the side characters are, like, relegated to not as important.
Yeah.
And what I like about a Doctor Light episode is that you're following someone, right? The protagonist switches. You for this entire episode, we're following Sally Sparrow, played by Kerry Mulligan, and it's you have to just get on board with it, and you grow to really, really like this character. And then always, if it's nice as well, if it's like rather than a two-parter, if it's just the standalone episode on its own, then it leaves you wanting more of them, which is, you know, there's just a nice entry into the Doctor Who canon. There's another character that we can love and we understand more on, like, a narrative level, if that makes sense.
Love is a bit strong.
I like Sally Sparrow is lovely and endearing. I find her very nice.
She's all right.
Larry, I'll take your point, right? I'm not a big Larry fan.
Lawrence?
No, he's Larry. Everyone calls him Larry.
He's called Lawrence.
I don't. Yeah, but people call him Larry. His
Who
sister's
calls
calling
him
him
Larry?
Larry. His sister.
I only picked up that his name was Lawrence. And I was going to bring it up like, hey, it's you. Hey, it's this film nerd.
Oh, come on now.
And he's called Lawrence.
And I work in a VHS store or something.
Yeah, this big greasy film nerd.
Oh, come on. No, I got words to say about Lawrence. We can get to him. You don't love Sally Sparrow?
No, I don't.
You don't? What?
No, I don't love this character who appeared once and never again.
But that's like, you know, film characters a lot of the time appear once and then never again.
Yeah, in a 2-hour movie.
I see what you're saying, but like, I don't know. I feel like you're being down on this episode. I think Sally Sparrow is a wonderful protagonist.
I think wonderful is very strong. Like, we just had one episode. Like, let's all calm down, all right?
But one episode, but like, it's a good episode. And Tallulah had 2 episodes, whatever.
Tallulah had 2, and Tallulah was different. Tallulah had much more of a personality.
Oh no, you're nuts. I agree that she was a lot louder and a lot more had more to say, but like, yeah. Sally's an interesting character to follow. I like her. I like the range of emotion she's able to play quite quickly. I like that she doesn't. There's a moment.
There's nothing wrong with her. I'm not saying she's a bad character. I'm just not like, oh my God, I love you. Come be the new companion. Join it. Let's go. I want you in my life at all times. I'm like, let's all calm down. Let's just have a normal reaction to this person we've met once. All right.
Look, it's hard to disagree with your point because you're not. you are saying things that make sense, but yeah. I like her as a character. She's cool.
That's fine. I like her too. I don't dislike her. She's fine. But like, let's calm down here, okay?
All right, I've calmed down. Would you like to? Would you want to do a little walk by, or have you just got kind of overall points about the episode that you want to talk about?
I have no points.
Okay, fantastic.
No, I have some points. You know, I don't make notes. You know this.
I know.
We had an agreement that I wouldn't make any notes because I don't like making notes, and you would make all the notes, and then we'd go off your notes.
Okay, well, we can go off my notes. Right, so the Doctor is leaving messages from 1945.
69.
Is it 69?
Yeah.
Oh, I must have misread it. I thought it was 45.
It's 69.
I believe you.
They make a very big point of it.
All right, but then I misread it. That's fine. I misread it on the wall.
No, but they bring it up like constantly throughout the episode.
Do they?
Yeah. Because then when Billy goes back, he's like, hey, you're in 1969. We did the moon landing. Oh, yeah, the moon landing was great. We did it 4 times. You know, the moon landing, that happened in 1969.
All right, I just was like, oh, the moon landing from the past. I wasn't like, hang on a minute.
The moon landing from the fucking 1870s, was it?
Get off my fucking dick today, all right? Fuck off. He's from the past, right? These are my notes. That's how I wrote it down. You want them?
Well, you wrote it down wrong.
I admitted that. I said I misread it.
So far, your notes are not doing a good job.
Fine. Right, but Sally's investigating a little house, a rundown,
it's quite a big house, actually.
Oh, fuck off. All right, Nathan, what have you got to say about it?
All right, here's my first note. Angels are iconic.
They are iconic.
Yeah, so
I guess we're not going bit by bit now. Then I asked you if you wanted to do this a minute ago.
No, go on.
No. I actually do want to talk about the Angels.
Great.
So now I'm confused. Should we do a walk by?
I just gave you the option.
All right, we're talking about the Angels, right? If we have time later, we'll do a little play by play.
What do you mean if we have time later?
Well, we're already a bit in. We're already quite far in.
All right, whatever.
Right. I very much so enjoy the Angels. I think they're a great design. I love the idea of like I love and I hate it because it fucking played with my childhood for too long and traumatized me as a child. But I love the idea that these are just things that are just in the background in a lot of places, in a lot of cities, especially in the UK. They're just... It fucks with you. It toys with your mind because you're told you can never look away from this thing that you've seen from, from the time you could recognize what a statue is, you know that they're stoic and they don't move. That's like their whole thing. And then all of a sudden, everything you know is thrown out the window in a child's TV show that traumatizes you. I think they're really good.
Doctor Who is, and particularly Stephen Moffat, is very good at taking very ordinary, normal, everyday things and making them scary, making them something to fear. That comes up in Stephen Moffat's stories quite a lot, and it's something he does very well. It works very well. The whole like ending of the episode, like, we're feeling relieved, it's safe, the danger's over and stuff. It's all happy days, and then we just get that montage of the end of just countless everyday, ordinary statues all across the country, and it's like, oh shit, that's pretty spooky. Like,
what fucked me up about that was it was like it got towards the end, and I was like, oh, it's quite an uplifting ending. I didn't remember it being this uplifting, right? And then all of a sudden, it like, I hate the way they repurpose the Doctor's "don't look away," don't close your eyes, don't blink, that kind of thing. I hate the way they repurpose that and just recontextualize it as if he's speaking directly to us, right? And that montage, it's never ending. It's like every type of statue you've ever seen. It's like, yeah, that one's an angel as well. Yeah, so's this one. So's this one. I think that's my beef. Because I was like, yesterday I was feeling quite like, oh yeah, it ended quite happily. Why was I so scared of this when I was a child? Oh, that's why. I immediately remember why now.
It's pretty spooky, yeah.
It fucked me up. It fucked me up quite a lot. Yeah, many a double check of rooftops was I doing. What?
No.
I think there's like little moments where like we spoke about the creep factor and how like I think this episode is at its best when it's creepy rather than trying to do an all-out horror. Like the weaker moments are when you see the angels and like they're flicking around with the lights and you see their big scary face. I think it's scarier when it's more subtle. Like there's a great shot of Sally like bending down and the angel has its face in one way, and then when she moves again, she moves like she just conceals the angel's face, and then she walks out of frame and the angel is moved to a different thing, to a different position. That shit's the stuff that really creeped me out.
I like it when they throw a big fucking rock at her.
It seems like a break in character, doesn't it?
It does. If you're a creature that's built on, disguise, and the moment someone looks at you, you just have to freeze up, why would you just throw a fucking rock at someone? It's also like not like that's not how you don't hunt like that or whatever. So like, what good is that gonna do you?
Do you reckon the rest of the angels are like looking at that one that threw the rock and they're like, dude,
What the fuck, man?
what are you doing?
We got a thing going on here now. Oh, sorry, guys.
Yeah,
I got
my
excited.
Yeah, I saw the TARDIS key. I got well into it.
First day on the angel job.
Oh god, yeah. I forgot that they throw the rock. Oh dear lord. All right, yes, you get the entire sequence where like Sally is exploring the house and she's got her friend with her. I think it's Kathy. Is her name Kathy?
Kathy or Catherine?
Yeah. Catherine. Yeah. Oh yeah, Catherine when she's older, I guess.
Yeah.
Kathy when she's fun and young and cool.
Yeah.
That whole sequence of like a man knocks at the door, and we later find out that that's actually like Kathy's grandson, who was told to like get here at a certain time to deliver that, and like as he's delivering it, Kathy is being sent back in time.
Yeah.
Like I don't know. This is what I'm talking about. Like playing with the time travel as part of the narrative, because Sally is rightfully so. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, is this a prank? What is this? And it fully unsettles you.
Yeah, I don't know. It's all that it's. Back to the Future 2 did it better.
Oh, the movie with more time and more budget. It probably did.
No,
yeah.
just like this specific, like sequence sort of thing. Like getting the letter, like as someone like literally just disappears. Like,
yeah. I guess it's not an original concept, is it? But
no, not really. Like it's been done before, but
I do think it works though in the context of this. Do you not think?
It works, yeah. I'm not saying it doesn't work.
You're really down on Blink.
I'm not down on Blink. I'm just not as gun-ho as I thought I would be. I'm a little... yeah, I guess I am a little... Maybe I belly it up too much for myself.
Yeah, that's fair.
I don't know.
I love the idea of, like, I don't know why I'm picturing you last night with just, like, some popcorn and everything. Like, you'd really settled yourself in for a night.
I watched it like an hour ago.
Oh, okay. Fair enough.
Yeah, not last night.
I put this. It's kind of like a time capsule. Having a man in 2007 explain Easter eggs to me feels like a weird thing.
I think this was the first time I ever learned about Easter eggs.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Actually, it probably was the first time I'd heard about it as well.
Almost certainly, because you'd have been like fucking 6 when you watched this or something.
I don't know if I'd be 6. What was I in 2007?
Pretty young. You'd been like 10.
I was 10. Yeah, I was 10.
Well, there you are. I wasn't. It's not like I was fucking 12 years off, was I?
No, it's true. Yeah. But yeah, I don't know. What do you make of, like, because the Doctor is included in this episode. What do you think of his inclusion and how that all plays out?
The video is very cool.
Yeah.
The conversation is quite creepy and spooky and stuff. It's like it's fun that we just get little glimpses of him throughout the episode. I'm not quite sure what's going on or how it's playing out. Yeah, the whole like conversation sequence is probably the best part of his inclusion, and maybe the episode, maybe.
I think it's weaved in and out really well. Like it's, I like how it never really changes. You see more of it, yeah, as it goes on, but the context is always there from the Doctor's side. It's just that Sally hasn't quite narratively got where she needs to be to ask the right questions for it to make sense.
Yeah.
I think it, like, as kind of like a not necessarily like a writing narrative puzzle, but like it's definitely a slow burn reveal that's when it clicks, you go, this is really well handled, I think.
It's quite well done in the fact that it has to have multiple points of access as well.
Yeah.
Because there's the moment in like the DVD shop where she has a brief interaction and that makes sense. But then she has to have a different interaction at a later point, but it's the same interaction from the Doctor's point of view, but a different interaction from her point of view, and both make sense somehow. Both make sense in the context of the script. So like it still works somehow.
When it came around the second time, that was like a big little excited moment for me. I was like, oh my God, it's the same tape. It's like, it's still going on. Yeah, no, I do enjoy that. I like that. I like big. Are we calling him Larry or Lawrence?
I'm going to call him Lawrence in my heart of hearts.
Okay, I'll call him Lawrence too. I'll please you by calling him Lawrence. I like that there was a part of me that when he was like, oh yeah, the guys are trying to figure out who this is on the tape, I was like, could this be Clive? Until I remembered
he's
2
dead.
years ago. Yeah, I know, I remembered. But I was like, oh, it might be like Clive. Clive might be one of the guys. I was going to headcanon it. And then I remembered that he did get shot in the face 2 years prior to this happening.
He might have been at one point. Look, Clive may, in 2005, he might have been all over this. Okay?
That's true. The tapes had been around for a bit.
Yeah, the DVDs.
Oh, yeah. It's the new age, yeah.
Yeah.
Do you want to so obviously like that's all going on. We're a bit jumbled. We're a bit all over the place. Can we talk about Detective Billy, please?
We can. Here's a fun fact. He originally, he filmed the scene using a London accent, and then they cast an older Billy who had like a different accent. So young Billy had to redub his voice lines.
Okay. Wait, redub?
Or just dub them.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So everything you hear of Billy is ADR. And you can tell.
I didn't pick up on it. I mean, it was 1 a.m.
I was wearing headphones, so.
Yeah, fair. Was it like a good sync up? Did it?
It looked fine, but it was just very clearly ADR. Same with Sally. Sally was ADR as well.
Oh, shit. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, no, that's dedication. Normally they just breeze over something like that, a little accent swap. Because
it's a pretty big thing to breeze over.
Yeah, but he got zapped back in time. He might have been like,
he's just suddenly gone from a guy with a London accent to like a I don't know, like a Jamaican accent or whatever.
No, but all right, but there's like
That's a pretty strange thing to occur. He moved to Jamaica for 40 years, did he? And then moved back to London.
That does happen. People can do that.
But it's very specific.
I feel like it would have been, I don't know. I mean, obviously it was distracting of an ADR.
But also he moved to Jamaica, lost his London accent, got a Jamaican accent, and then moved back to London.
That's fine. That could happen. 40 years. That could easily happen. And also 40 years is probably an understatement as well. It's probably more than that.
I think it can, really. If he was a kid, yes. But
adults lose their accents all the time.
You don't... Not fully.
I guess.
There'll be a little twang to it, but not like fully.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know. It feels like the kind of thing they'd normally just breeze through. Be like, oh, whatever.
I don't think it does. I feel like it's too big of a point to ignore. Like, that's... If you ignore that, that's like, come on. That's just sloppy, really.
Why did they choose to cast a different accented guy?
Well, they I don't know. I don't know.
I can't speak for them.
I regret giving you this fun fact now, because you've just been poking holes in it from the start.
Oh my God.
I thought you'd go, oh, that's fun, cool, and then we'd move on. But no, it's all here, let me poke holes in it.
I wanted to inquire further. I wanted to find out more.
Well, fucking read it yourself then. Here's something on Billy. Older Billy says, I would have looked you up, but I lost all my hair. What hair? You didn't have any hair. Older Billy has more hair than younger Billy had. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
You have no hair. Well, you had none. Now you have a little.
Yeah, I hadn't considered that he actually does have more hair when he's older.
Exactly.
I do like his riz. I do like Billy's riz. I like his life is short and you are hot. It's a good line. Yeah, I mean, it's not, but like it worked clearly for him.
Yeah, they're pretty cute for like the 2 minutes they have together.
Yeah, it's very much a what could have been, isn't it?
Yeah,
literally.
Yeah.
No, I like it. I like the yeah, I think it's sweet. I also just like how by the way that she even gets to like the police is by like the writers don't ignore the obvious, like just call the police and see what they say. In this, Sally does call the police, and the police are obviously predictably fucking just useless about it, except for Billy.
Yes.
So for all the things that you're saying, like this didn't necessarily land with you the same way it maybe like struck you as when you were younger or a couple of years ago or whatever.
Yes.
Was the hospital scene with Sally and Billy enough to be a tearjerker for you, or at least get you feeling?
No, I did not cry once during this episode. No.
Oh man, what like it being like, oh, it was raining when we met. That it's the same rain. That's fucking so sad.
Yeah, it's a cute line, but I'm not out here bawling. I don't know these people.
This episode has personally upset you or something.
I don't have enough of a connection to them to be forming this attachment. I cry quite easily at stuff, to be honest. A lot more easily than I used to. But nothing about this episode made me cry at all.
What about the shot of like the rain casting the shadow on the wall, and then like it cuts to the wide shot and the hospital bed has been like changed and the sheets have been taken off, so like Billy's obviously dead.
I'm like, oh, that's kind of sad, but I'm not crying.
I'm not crying, but like it moves you. It's
a little moving, I guess.
It's a sad moment. It's a very sad moment.
It's a little sad,
and I like that it.
I've seen much sadder moments.
Okay, yes, so have I. But I'm saying for the merits of which we can base it in this show.
I think that my whole reaction to this episode is just everyone needs to calm down. Okay,
it is. But I think much like I was being with 42, and upon reflection, I think you were right. I was
Yes,
being
that was
overly. All right. Oh yeah. Okay. So I'm gonna spin it right back on you. You're being overly nitpicky because it wasn't as good as you remember it.
No, first I'm not being nitpicky. I'm just not being mawkish and fucking proclaiming my love and undying fucking yearning for this episode or whatever.
But did you enjoy this episode?
Yes.
So talk about the good things about it rather than all the stuff that like, oh, that wasn't as good. I've seen that done better.
You're asking me my thoughts and I'm just telling you them. I'm not saying it wasn't good. I'm just saying I didn't cry.
It's all right. You don't have to cry, but it's sad. It's as sad as Doctor Who has been at times.
No, it's not. Doctor Who has been much sadder than these two people I don't know who didn't have a relationship.
No, it's not. It's not sad because like they didn't have a relationship. I don't think it's that. I think it's more just like it's a heartbreaking thing to imagine that like. Not what could have been, but more just like your entire life as you knew it gone. Like any chance of anything, not just the relationship. Any chance of anything that you recognize.
But he had a nice life.
He did.
He had a wife. He seemed to enjoy himself. So it's not like, oh, he had nothing or anything. He was fine.
All right, fine. Yeah, technically, but like it's probably quite fucking traumatic to do that and go through that.
Yeah, but he seemed all right.
That's to be fair, that is a point in the episode. Everyone seems like mostly at peace. It would have been cool to see one person be like, they fucking ruined my life. Like, yeah. I'm not built for the 1920s, all right? I didn't have a phone. I was well confused. I would have liked to have seen that. That was something I do think was maybe missing.
Why did Kathy tell him she was 18?
Yeah, I don't know.
It seems weird.
I think it was more like it's like a late 2000s joke of like,
oh, you're old. Oh, she's 25. What a fucking monster. Oh no.
It's like no. you know the horrible thought of
fucking
like
throw her in the bin, boys. She's 25.
God, you know, like that's the X Factor category influence.
It is. It's 25 and over. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's weird because when I was a kid, I was like, God, that's so old. Now I'm like, are you fucking kidding? 25 is a baby. Okay. 25 is a child. Okay.
They didn't help it as well because like when in X Factor they dressed all like the under 25s, so they were super young, and then like even if there was a guy that had just turned 25, he was put in like a polo shirt and bootcut jeans. It's like they just did them so dirty for no reason.
Yeah, it's true.
Oh dear, yeah, that sucks. But yeah, I mean, I guess it's just a product of that. It is purely a product of wow, 25 is super old.
Yeah, which makes me feel great about myself.
It's cool to be old now. It's cool to be like.
Tell that to my knees when I try to get off the couch.
Yeah, I'm not saying it feels good. I'm just saying like it's at least a bit more acceptable to like act one's age.
It takes me a whole 20 seconds to get up these days.
Just the slow burn from the knees.
20 seconds and a few failed attempts.
What did you make of like, so obviously we touch in with the Doctor and Martha. Further, I mean, last week we talked at length about how the Doctor is a prick, and and really needs to start considering Martha and her role in these adventures more. And he's obviously still on his prick path because he's basically been like, Martha, we're stuck here. You need to go out and get a job.
Oh yeah, she does say she's got to support him at one point, doesn't she?
What's wrong with your legs?
He very quickly settles into the 1960s, actually, doesn't he?
I like that. He's a stay-at-home dad, but he has no kids. It's just purely Martha needs to go and get a job.
Well, yeah, that is quite strange, I guess.
Also, well, all right, I don't know this. I'm not. Maybe this is going to make me sound dumb. Were there like any kind of like ATMs or like automatic cash producing machines in like 65 or whenever this is set?
I wouldn't have thought so, no.
Okay, so I'm thinking we have seen him sonic an ATM and get a load of cheddar
in 2006 or whatever.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is there like an equivalent, like any kind of bank teller or maybe a vault that you can open with someone's money in it.
You probably could go to it, but also ethically, like.
Oh yeah, but the bank's money's insured. That's the same thing as an ATM spraying cash out.
Yeah, but that was more a quick fix, get away from these killer Santa sort of thing. It wasn't just I'm taking all this money.
I think Martha's called in a favor, like, by now. I think she could have exercised her right to demand that something else was arranged for this.
I don't know this for a fact. I could look it up, but I'm not going to. But I don't think there was cash machines in the 60s.
You're probably right.
That feels like a 80s, 90s sort of thing.
I mean, yeah, it probably is. I still think there's a way that he could have procured some cash if he needed to, with everything at his disposal. He's got psychic paper. Hello, I'm here to inspect your bank vaults. Done. Easy peasy.
And then he just walks out with just like 20 quid notes just popping out of his pockets.
All right, no, he brings a sack. He's like, I'm here to... he uses psychic paper to take on someone's identity. Hello, I'm this man. Can I withdraw a lot of money? Oh, but then that's a burn on that guy, isn't it, I suppose?
Yeah, then he just stole the money from that. Hello, I'm going to someone really bad, but the only bad person I can think of is Hitler. And I'm like, why does Hitler in the 60s have a bank account at this British bank? But whatever. Hello, I'm Mr. Hitler. I'd like to make a withdrawal. Okay, Mr. Hitler, I'd just like your first name. I don't know. That's a joke from The Simpsons.
Very good. No, I've solved it, right? He can go into a bank, take someone's money. When he gets his TARDIS back, go back in time to before he took the money and put it back.
He can't go back in his own timeline.
Oh, fuck that. Whatever. He can do something. he can fit... Right, what I'm saying is there's another scenario. I don't know what it is, but it's not my job to figure it out, frankly.
Okay.
But he could have... He didn't need to do Martha dirty.
If it's not your job to figure it out, then why are you trying to figure it out?
Because
you're the one who started this.
Yeah, but Martha deserves better than this.
I agree.
I think... yeah. I shouldn't have opened the rabbit hole. I understand that.
No,
but I'm just saying...
got off bit for 10 minutes for no reason. Bloody hell.
Fuck's sake. I'm trying to, like, we're all over the shop. I'm trying to think of, like, stuff we haven't spoken about.
Well, you said earlier that you hate Lawrence.
Yes.
Why?
I will tell you in a segment in a bit.
Okay. Fair enough.
That's why I was trying to be as coy as I could be.
All right.
But when you outright question me like this.
Okay. Fair enough.
All right, do you want to talk about the ending whole sequence of, like, you know, that they...
What, the 1 year later sequence?
No. Well, I guess that is the ending. I meant kind of a bit before that, like the...
In the house?
Yeah, the climax of it all, the real nail-biting, don't blink sequence. Yeah.
Yeah. It's probably... It's fine. It's just a little bit... Ooh, you know?
It's not as good as I remember it being, or as scary as I remember it being, yeah.
There's a few jump scares here and there, like the moment when they watch, like, the doctor's video stops and they're both, like, playing with a fucking laptop or DVD player or whatever it is, and then they're like, we're not watching the angel. Then they look up and it's just there, like, fucking there. Like, that was pretty spooky. That made me jump a little bit.
Yeah.
And there's a few, like, jump scare moments and stuff, but yeah, it's never, like, terrifying.
Yeah, I think I just remember it, like, I think what I was scared of, and, like, looking back on it, like, I was scared of the concept more. It was the ending montage of all of the real life kind of gargoyles and statues and stuff that put fear into me.
Yeah, and that is pretty spooky.
Yeah. Oh yeah, because they end it kind of open ended, like, this could happen to you. And it's like, oh shit, could it? Fuck. I didn't know that.
And it will. Yeah.
And it will, yeah.
Yeah.
I remember it being scarier than it was, but it's I still think it's, like, appropriately tense, and, like, the moments where it, like, is kind of slow zooming in on Lawrence's eye and it's, like, twitching. Like, that's all great. I think I really, really like that kind of stuff.
Oh, they do a few very slow zooming on people's eyes when they blink during the episode, which is a little bit...
It's unnerving. It's just something a bit different.
Yeah. I guess it gets the point across of the blinking thing, but, like...
Yeah.
I don't know.
All right, I like the concept of the it is a little bit like, well, that's convenient, but like I also think it works in terms of the angels, the quantum lock situation. Like they're physically not living creatures when they're being observed.
Yeah, that's quite cool. That's the angels themselves. They're just like they instantly became an iconic Doctor Who monster because of this episode, and like whenever they show up, it's immediately so exciting and so interesting to see how it's going to play out and stuff. And like this is their first appearance. They've been around for less than 20 years, and I would say they're arguably as like at this point as well known as like the Daleks and Cybermen. Really, I'd say they're up there. Really.
Yeah, I think so, especially amongst like newer fans and stuff. For the new kind of era of Doctor Who, they're definitely someone would go to them. I would even say probably over the Cybermen a lot of the time, like younger fans.
Ooh. Those are fighting words for me.
I know you like the Cybermen.
I do.
Right. The quantum lock. The Doctor kind of tricks them, so they get into the TARDIS. Sally and Lawrence, they get into the TARDIS. The Doctor has given them a glowing DVD.
Yes.
Which I thought was quite funny, a bit silly, but also a bit funny. And the TARDIS starts like dematerializing out of the place, and when it starts leaving them behind, I was like, because when they got into TARDIS, I was like, oh, it's safe, we're saved. And then TARDIS started going off without them, and I think even Sally is like, what is going on? Like, just take us with you, please. But I like the little gambit. It's just a silly little trick. To get them all looking at each other.
It works. Like it's good enough, I guess. It resolves the threat.
Yeah.
I guess.
Until one car park attendant moves them.
Yeah, exactly. Until like unless like the house gets bulldozed or whatever, and then like someone finds these angels. Like, what's going on here? This is weird. And then just like moves them, and then like, oh shit.
There's some modern art. What the fuck is this?
Yeah. But like they're all over the place. Like,
yeah,
I don't think 4 more is going to be a massive issue in the grand scheme of things, because like all of New York is infected at one point. So like,
oh yeah, that's true. Yeah.
so...
do they get done justice? I haven't seen a lot of the other. I know the season 5 storyline, but after
they
that,
do. Yeah. There's some really good and really interesting angel stories to come. Yeah.
I do see why they keep coming back. Like you say, that kind of instant iconography that they have is very, very cool. All right, do you want to talk about the 1 year later then?
It's 1 year later. They own a little shop.
Yes.
And then the Doctor shows up in a cab. Yeah. And he's got to kill a lizard or something with a bow and arrow.
Yeah, I don't know quite what they're off to do.
Yeah, me neither. Martha seems to be in a rush.
She's well up for it, and like she's carrying like some sort of crossbow thing as well.
No, she's got the arrows and the Doctor's got the bow.
I see. Okay.
Yeah. She's got a little quiver with her arrows in.
Very good. Is she? I like these moments. I like this happens in Smith and Jones as well, to a lesser extent, but like moments where stuff hasn't caught up with the Doctor, like the tie thing in Smith and Jones, and then this.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Where like someone comes up to him and is like, "Hey," and he's like, "Who the fuck are you?"
Yeah.
I do like that. Again, obviously no surprises from where you're sitting, but like Stephen Moffat and his playing with time and just finding a way. Like that conversation is more interesting because he has no idea what's going on, but just is like, "Oh, I obviously trust you, so cool."
Yeah.
And then
makes sense.
Goes. Yeah,
it makes sense. I wonder where he put that file though. Because like she gave him like a Polly Pocket like sort of thing with like all the information you need, and then at one point he's in 1969 without a TARDIS, so assumingly he would have had the file on him. So
he probably had a big pocket. He's always got like
he does have big pockets.
Stuff out.
Yeah. Oh, and speaking of it, I do like the moment when Billy gets sent back to 1969 and he shows up and he's got another one of his little inventions that he's just like hobbled together, and he's just like, it goes ding when there's stuff and all this sort of stuff, which is just classic 10. I love all that stuff.
I like that it also plays like no role. It's just like it's something he's just, like you say, hobbled together because he's just trying to be useful in some capacity.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
and it explodes chickens as well, apparently. So
it goes. I love that. That's such a stupid fucking line. It goes ding when there's stuff.
Yeah.
But I mean, it explains it in the way that it just doesn't need to be explained. It's just something Ten has made.
Yeah.
And
he's always making little things.
He is. He loves it. He's a little inventor. Right. So yeah, it's a year later. Larry wants to progress his relationship with Sally.
Lawrence.
Yeah.
His name is Lawrence.
Oh yeah. Sorry. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's a year later. Lawrence wants to progress his relationship with Sally, but Sally is still stuck. Like she's still thinking about the past because obviously she hasn't realized that she has to give the doctor the file yet, which she does.
Did she ever tell him about her sister?
It's unclear.
Never gets brought up.
I feel like I don't think it's ever implied, but like from a common decency perspective, like once he's clued in on everything, he's like, you can probably handle this now.
Yeah, I guess she'd have told him at some point during the year, but like...
It's like I was in the cemetery the other day and I saw this fucking crazy coincidence.
Yeah.
Well, I was just having a look through some stuff that we've got, and apparently you've got this letter from my sister from like, I don't know, 40 years ago or some shit.
That's pretty big to say, like, oh, by the way, your sister's dead. Okay.
Yeah, and I was like, you'll never see her again, and she lived a full life without you. Yeah,
and you have all these nephews and nieces who are all older than you and also dead.
Oh my god,
yeah, cool.
Yeah, that's no good. Yeah, I feel like she must have told him. She must have done.
I reckon she would have.
But yeah, and then it ends with the montage. The Tennant speaks to us, telling us not to blink. Repurposed the thing that he says in the episode. It's right. It's a great ending. I see why they did it.
Yeah.
But they effectively ruined horror for me for a long time. As a child. It took me a lot
Really?
Yeah, man, it's fucking scary. This was scary. I watched this and I was not prepared for that ending.
This ruined all horror for you?
No, not ruined it, but it gave me a fear. After this, I remember so clearly being as scared as I was after this episode that since I have just approached anything that has a label of horror with an element of caution and less enjoyability than other people do have.
You're a little fraidy cat.
I am. Yeah, I'm fine to admit it. All right?
You're a little spooky fraidy cat. Oh, that's okay.
It's a little scary thing that happens. Right. Do you have any other notes?
Yes, I have some little things.
Okay.
I think it's just one little thing.
Okay.
Oh, no, two little things. First one, Sparrow and Nightingale. Bit ITV. Sick burn. Love it. Great.
Okay. Yeah.
Bit of fun. Poke a little bit of fun at the rival network. Sad is happy for deep people. Go the fuck away. Get out of Hyla. Maybe that's why I don't like Sally that much, because like if anyone said that to me, if anyone in my life said that to me, I'd be like, leave. No. Straight away.
It's a little bit
that's the most
quote.
pretentious bullshit I've ever heard.
It's Tumblr quote, but it's 2007.
It's a Tumblr quote before Tumblr was a thing.
Yeah, but they loved it. They would have loved that. Big time.
No, they wouldn't.
I think so. I think Tumblr's rife for it.
I don't think you know what Tumblr is.
I knew what it was. I don't know now. I haven't touched in a while.
Anyway, once again, big up Poe, but I might have cut that, so just for safety.
Maybe that means nothing to anyone.
Yeah, big up Poe.
All right. Do we do tweets or the weirdo first?
Weirdo first.
All right, then let's do that now.
Weirdo of the week. Weirdo.
This is everyone's favourite segment of the show where we get to take a look back at some of the weird and wonderful and grubby little characters who come across our screens each and every week whilst we're watching Docky Who and take a look and celebrate some of them. So, Lawrence, who is your weirdo for this week?
My weirdo is Lawrence himself.
You are your own weirdo.
No, not me. Lawrence, Sally's, I guess, boyfriend.
Her beau.
her beau and
Her
Kathy's,
other half.
Indeed. And
Her
Kathy's
partner.
brother. Yes, Nathan, they are together. Yeah.
Her lover.
Okay, all right. Come on now.
Okay.
Right. I'm not entirely certain what the living situation was.
He was living with his sister.
So it's his. Did we clear that it's his sister's place?
Well, it's never established. It's their place, I guess.
Okay, so let's just function on it's their place because that allows.
They're roommates.
Yeah, it allows for a fairness, I think.
There's nothing wrong with that.
No, I'm not saying that's the weird thing.
Okay.
I'm saying if I lived with my sister in a relatively
have one.
No, I don't. But like if I did and I had
If you
one
lived
and
with my sister.
No, that's not the same analogy.
Okay.
Just shut up. Let me say my fucking thing.
If I lived with my sister.
All right, you won't want that analogy on this for what I'm about to say, but that's fine.
Oh no. Okay.
Right.
It's gonna get weird.
I don't think it's gonna get weird. I think it got weird. If I had a sister and I lived with her,
Yeah.
I would not just walk around naked, just air drying after a shower. I think that's
okay.
weird.
All right. He's not just air drying after a shower. He got up to go for a piss in the middle of the night and is still half asleep.
Right. I don't care how half asleep you are, right? You don't just go, yeah, middle of the day, sister's up, naked. I reckon that's appropriate.
But it's not middle of the day and sister's up though.
Wait, all right, what's the time?
It's 1:30 in the morning.
All right, fine. But he still can hear people. He's still strutting about. Just put some fucking pants on.
He was in the bathroom when Sally arrived.
Right. You don't.
So the decision was already made.
All right, fine. If I take that, then that's fine. He still then just like stops in the doorway to chat.
He's half asleep. He doesn't stop to chat. He's half asleep. He doesn't know what's going on.
I think he does. He's having a conversation. I don't have conversations half asleep without knowing.
He doesn't know if he's wearing trousers. He's clearly half asleep.
How out of it do you get after a sleep to the point where you could be having a full conversation with a stranger and not realize you're naked?
4 words is not a full conversation.
Right. All right, but it's an interaction, is it not?
Yeah, I've had interactions whilst I'm out of it and half asleep.
Yeah, but
I'm saying I have lived with family, and in the middle of the night, I will happily go to the bathroom completely naked.
I think that's strange. I think that's weird.
Why?
Because why would you? It's so easy to just put on something, anything.
But I am the worst thing is waking up in the middle of the night and having to put on clothes to go to the toilet. That is something I do not need in my life.
Okay.
I just want to go to the toilet and go to bed. It's going to be a quick in and out situation.
Right, but then you're in a position where that is acceptable. Yeah, you're in a position where that is acceptable to do so.
And why is it not acceptable for Lawrence to do so?
Because there's company over and he lives with his sister.
No, there's not. There's not company over. He goes before Sally even arrives.
Right.
He goes before Sally arrives and his sister's in bed. And it's 1:30 in the morning.
Right. I still think... all right, just don't stop in the door frame then. Just walk past.
That's more acceptable, yes. Okay, I'll give you that. But
Nathan wants to excuse his nudism. his naked activities.
I don't think there's anything wrong with a man wanting to go to the toilet in the middle of the night and not have to go through the issue of putting on pants.
I think that would be the case if the man lived by himself. If the man doesn't live by himself, I think some common courtesy. You don't need your sister seeing your knob.
If I lived in a share house, which I used to, with like essentially strangers, different story. Okay. Then I'm getting dressed. I'm covering up. All right. Last year, I moved out of a shared house and moved back into my dad's house for a couple of months. Mm-hmm. My dad, my stepmom, and my sister. I lived there for a few months. And I would regularly, in the middle of the night, get up and go to the toilet and just free ball it.
I've been actively avoiding that phrase. I'm glad you were the one that said it. Look, all right.
I'm not waking up and putting on like a whole fucking full-on outfit to walk 3 steps across the hallway.
Okay, fine. All right, I'll take that.
Especially when everyone else is asleep.
All right, but then by your logic, right, the same applies that you would just have to be completely okay bearing witness to your dad, stepmom, or sister doing the exact same thing.
You know what? Yes. And I have.
Fine. All right, fine. Then you can claim it, but Lawrence can't, all right? I think he's still weird.
What? Okay. I think you're overreacting.
I don't think so.
If you can't relax in your own home, where can you relax?
I think you can be relaxed whilst also not having your knob out. That's where I'm at. I think that I can still maintain quite a relaxing lifestyle without having to constantly need my cock out.
I'm not advocating for you constantly to have your penis out, okay? That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying when it's we're spending way too long on this, but when it's the middle of the night, all right, and you need to go to the bathroom, you need to pay a visit to the lavatory, okay?
Yes, yeah.
Having to put on clothes is the absolute last thing you want to be doing.
Yeah, I can agree with that.
So there you go.
I still think
so.
It's
Why bother? Unless everyone is awake, you know you're gonna run into someone. Then sure. But if it's 1:30 in the morning, yeah, sure, it's a roll of the dice. But it's a roll of the dice I'm gonna take because more often than not, it's in my favor. So
all right, fair. All right, fine. Look, that is fine. If that's
there we go.
That's
so
your approach,
now your weirdo has officially been deemed invalid.
okay,
So
I'm not picking another one.
You need another.
All right, whoever you're choosing is my weirdo too.
No, you can't. This
Right,
is
who
mine.
is
I
your
actually did
weirdo?
research into mine.
Okay.
My weirdo for this week is Charlotte Mitchell.
Okay. I think you know that you're going to need to tell me who the fuck that even is.
Lawrence, who is Charlotte Mitchell? I hear you ask.
Yes, you do.
Well, Charlotte Mitchell is the costume supervisor for this episode and possibly the whole of series 3, but specifically this episode because I watched the credits. And I made sure to pick up on her name. Okay, so she is in charge of costuming for this episode. Okay, and I have chosen Charlotte as my weirdo for this week for the absolutely baffling and absurd decision to have Sally Sparrow and Lawrence, whatever his name is, in matching outfits. Only they have been inversed.
Okay. All right.
Sally is wearing a red jumper with a sleeveless blue jumper over it. Lawrence is wearing a blue jumper with a red sleeveless hoodie over it. They're wearing the same thing but inverse, and it looks weird. I notice it every single time, and it's so bad. They look like twins. You know, like twins when their parents get them matching outfits, but a little bit different. Yeah. It's like that's what they're wearing.
Okay, I can't even say I noticed it.
Oh, I did. Every single time I watch this episode, I notice it. It sticks out like a sore thumb to me.
I am tempted to go back and have a look now. What? So they're just the inverse of each other's outfits, basically?
Yeah, like literally. So Sally is wearing a red jumper with a sleeveless blue jumper over it, like a sleeveless jumper vest.
Yeah.
And then Lawrence is wearing a blue jumper, but over it he's got a red sleeveless hoodie on. So
right. That is strange. That is.
It is. Yes, it's very strange.
Well, no, maybe not straight. It feels lazy a bit.
It just seems odd. Like, why put them in outfits that similar?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't have an answer. I cannot tell you the reasoning behind that whatsoever.
Charlotte Mitchell, you do great work. You've produced some lovely costumes for the show, I assume.
If she's the like lead on costumes for season 3, she brought about your baby suit, your blue one.
Exactly. There you go. And so, tremendous work, and we can never be topped. But
well, I thought you were going to say that her bizarre choice was skipping the day where Lawrence had to come out of the bathroom because she didn't give him any clothes to wear, and then that has rendered him a weirdo in my eyes.
Lawrence, we just spent 40 minutes talking about the fact that that's not weird.
No, you did. I wasn't ever turned around on this.
No, we agreed.
Well, I'm not sure I did.
I have no idea how long this episode is because I feel like at least 40 minutes has been cut, probably.
It's a confusing one.
Yeah.
It's definitely been all over the place.
Yeah, and I feel like that's your fault.
I don't know. I'm not sure.
Why not?
Do you want to do this?
Yeah.
No. No.
All right.
Tell me if we got any tweets, please, young man.
We did. Not only did we get tweets, we got an email as well.
Ooh. Is that our first email?
It is our first email, and our last, probably.
First.
But let's do tweets first. Greg Cactus Face at GCactusFace on Twitter says 3 groups of people are sent back in time during this episode: the Doctor and Martha, Kathy, and Billy Shipton. Billy is sent back to 1969, which is 3 years before Jackie Robinson dies. Coincidence? Question mark. Now I had to look this up. Okay.
Yeah.
Jackie Robinson is a baseball player. Okay.
Okay.
You may remember a few weeks ago we got another tweet from Greg Cactus Face, which we didn't understand, and it turned out to be about some sports movie. I think it was Moneyball or something.
Yeah.
I think Greg likes baseball. Look, I'll be honest, Greg. We know nothing about baseball. Okay,
Greg, you're doing fantastic work, but this is entirely lost on us.
We are 100% not the. But keep it up. I love it. Yeah. But
I would like to see just how fine of a tether you can create a link to baseball. That's what I want to see.
It seems like Greg is implying that for some reason Billy killed Jackie Robinson or something. Billy is somehow responsible for Jackie Robinson's death.
Okay.
I don't know what that implies or what that assumes, but hey, there we go.
Look, I think we can all agree that it was a tweet we received.
It was a great tweet that we received. And then he followed that up with, also, this was a really good episode of TV, not just Doctor Who. So
I would agree. That's what I said earlier. Standalone. You could show this to anyone, and they don't have to have a working knowledge of Doctor Who to just be like, oh, that was a fun little short time travel story that I enjoyed.
There you go. Wonderful stuff. And then we have Roaring Rose Agatha at our Rose Agatha on Twitter. The weird guy who runs the video shop feels exactly like Bill Bailey in Spaced. Every time I watch it, I imagine him and the shaggy Scooby-Doo looking transcriber guy doing this. And then he sent us a YouTube link.
Okay.
Which I can't play on a podcast.
What's he doing? Describe it for us and me.
It's a video clip, and it's Bill Bailey and Simon Pegg walking down the street and like doing a jaunty little walk and just having fun. And then Simon Pegg picks up a random lady, and then they all have a hug.
Okay.
And there we go.
That video, I like how this is such that's something you always remember, but it's the guy's in it for 2 scenes, and they're so minor.
I can see what he's saying though.
Yeah.
I can see you Bill Bailey in that role.
Is it just like an early 30s guy in a video store?
I'm pretty sure Bill Bailey was in Doctor Who at one point.
I feel like he has to have been.
I'm almost certain Bill Bailey's been in it at some point.
He's too famous and too eager for work to have not been it. No, not eager for work, but no disrespect to Bill Bailey, but he'll be in a lot of stuff because he just likes to do the work.
Because he's good.
Yeah. No, I'm not beefing him. I'm not saying he needs a payday. Fucking hell, he doesn't need a payday. He's fine.
Yeah, I'm sure he's been in there at one point. What did you ask? What did you say?
What's our email? I don't know. I can't remember what I said.
Our email is. This is from Sam Nixon.
Ooh. First email award. Thank you, Sam. First
email award. Thank you, Sam. I was going to read out his email address then, but I probably won't do that.
Yeah, it's not like Twitter. You don't get the followers.
Yeah. Hi guys, love the podcast. Confirming Sally's thoughts from last week. Yes, you're both are very handsome. Remember that? Remember that fake tweet?
Yes, the fake tweet from Sally. Yeah.
Yeah. Thought I could offer some thoughts on Blink. While I grant it's an excellent 45-minute piece of television, I think it's one of the most overrated stories in the whole show.
Nathan, is this your pseudonym? Is this you?
No, it's not. No. The tension is great, and there's a couple of bright spot performances from Carrie Mulligan, but over the years it has dulled on me. I also wouldn't show it as a person's first episode, as some people suggest. It doesn't have enough doctor or companion to be Docky Who. Cheers, fellas. Looking forward to the finale. Thank you, Sam. Yeah, I agree, really.
That has kind of summed up your thoughts
something
in a nutshell, hasn't it?
It has, yeah. Really.
I agree that it should. The shine has definitely come off it in getting older, and just not having it kind of have the same effect as when it aired. And I also, I like this episode obviously more than Nathan and Sam, clearly, but like it definitely is not the first episode of Doctor Who you should show to anyone. That makes no sense whatsoever.
Yeah.
I think the first episode of Doctor Who you should show to people is Rose, to be honest. The first episode of the revival.
I think it's an unearthly child.
Is that the first ever classic?
Yeah.
Then why didn't we start this podcast then, Nathan, if you truly believe that?
I don't know.
I'm excited if we ever do cover the classic series, and our weirdos are just going to be every week. This guy was sexist. This guy was sexist. This guy was racist.
I've told you that's not how it is.
I'm yet to see it. I'm yet to believe that.
Well, there we go. Well, that's what we're doing after, once we catch up. Maybe after Torchwood and Sarah Jane, though.
Yeah. I liked a longer thought. I liked that email.
Yes.
People send more emails in. Give us
send more emails. Yeah, you can send them to stillgotlegspodcast@gmail.com. Send more emails. We'd love some lovely thoughts on the episodes. Potential breaking news, but probably not when this episode comes out. Potential air date for the 60th. Looks like it's going to be Saturday, 23rd of September. Oh, wait, no. Never mind. I read something wrong. Forget about that. Sorry. I read something very wrong there. Don't worry about it.
Okay.
Ignore that. Okay.
Hot scoop over.
Hot scoop over.
We won't be venturing into like the scoopers podcast industry anytime soon.
No, that is 100% done.
We gave it a decent go.
Yeah. Do send an email. We're going to start off the finale next week. The finale starts.
The three-parter
we kick
Bad
off
Boy.
with the three-parter. I might listen to our old episode of Another Happy Pod.
Don't draw people's attention to it. This is not the week for that.
Don't worry about that. Whatever that is, don't worry about it.
Listen to the much better and higher production value one next week.
Well, I don't know about that, but it will certainly be longer.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
It will certainly once we've done all three, it will certainly be longer. So there we go. But yes, if you have any thoughts, shut up. If you have any thoughts on Utopia, tweet us at StillGotLegsPod, or you can email them to us, like I just said, at it's an email, StillGotLegsPodcast gmail.com.
Yeah.
So,
and while you're
there
at
you
it,
go. And now I'm going to stay silent while Lawrence does the rest.
Yeah, you've already done the Twitter, so I don't actually need to handle that this week. But that's fantastic. So once you've finished doing that little tweet, you can mosey on over. I've immediately fucked it. You've thrown me off so much. I understand.
I didn't do anything.
You did the Twitter, and whilst I appreciate your help, you've now you fucked my game.
It's because you usually say you can mosey on over to Twitter.
I know.
And then you started saying that.
That's the link. That's the link.
What was I going to do? You can mosey on over to our rate and review section.
They can do that. Most podcasts, your podcast platform of choice likely has a review feature. A nice little 5-star wouldn't go amiss if you like the show. Push it out.
And if not, just go to the one on Apple because that's the main one.
Yeah, that's the one where it actually is like quite useful for us. So please. And it's one you can read a nice comment. Like Spotify's fine, but it's just a number. Like we like to read a little comment. Let us know if you're in what
Shall
you're
I have
enjoying.
a look if there is any? I'll have a look now.
Yeah, go on. Read out a nice little review from someone. If we have none, this is so
if we have any. Let's see what we have.
If we have any that isn't me or you when we first started, it's just being like, nice show.
Well, this might be a fake name. It might not. It might be someone's actual name. But it also might be a fake one. Because this was one from Jeff Lemon. Which says, a wonderful podcast about a 60-year-old show that goes on various bizarre tangents at the drop of a fez. A must listen for me every week. Thank you very much, Jeff. That's a great little review if indeed you are a real person. And if you are, you have a fucking amazing name.
At the very least, I know that isn't me using a fake name.
Here's one from Nathan Bauer who says 5 stars, great pod, had a fun time with it.
So you've really tried to convince people that you're a true reviewer as well.
And the title of that review is I love Docky Who. So if you want to be like Jeff Lemon and Nathan Bauer, go over to the review section on Apple Podcasts, whatever it's called these days. Give us a 5-star review. And
Should we read a new review out every week? But if we don't have a new one, we just default to Jeff Lemon.
Yes. Yes. So,
And pretend we've never heard it.
yeah, we'll do that. We'll get bored of that very quickly.
We will.
But,
we often do get bored of segments.
That's on our other show. We've never dropped a segment yet on this show. So.
That is true. Oh, and actually, funny you say that, Nathan. What is that show?
Oh, that's called Another Happy Pod. It comes out every Friday at 10 a.m. The latest episode was it's our pop culture podcast where we talk about either a movie, TV show, video game, whatever's going on in that world. What was our latest episode? What did we do?
It would have been, so when's this go out? This goes out this coming Monday. So it would have been Hairspray.
Yes, Hairspray. A lovely, fun musical time for everyone. And then this week we are doing something else.
Yeah.
Which I can't remember.
Couldn't tell you.
Yeah. I can actually. I got the schedule. Yeah, let me put it up. Inglourious Bastards.
Oh, yes.
Yes, the Tarantino epic. So give that a watch and give it a listen.
And tune into Hairspray for some rogue Tarantino insults. We don't.
Yes.
We give everyone a fair shot.
It's true. We do.
If you have enjoyed this episode, okay.
little upcoming tease for Another Happy Pod in November, around about the time of Doctor Who's 60th anniversary celebrations. We will be doing a special episode on the BBC drama, which came out during the 50th anniversary. Is an adventure in space and time. If you haven't seen it, it's kind of like a dramatization of the creation and making of Doctor Who. It's a good fun time. So yeah, we're going to do that bit of cross promotion, synergy.
If you see it on this feed, no, you didn't. If we ever miss an episode, no, you didn't.
It won't be on this feed.
No, I know, but still, you never know.
No, we're good.
We're good.
We haven't missed an episode yet. They've been late. They've been very late. But
they've been. Actually, no, we've had a fairly decent track. They've never been more than a week late.
They've never been more than like 4 days late.
Yeah, so that's pretty good.
So like our latest one was the one like last week or whatever.
Yeah.
But like we're planning to never miss a week with this podcast. So like
so hard.
It's gonna be tough. But like Christmas, New Year's, it's there. Like if Christmas Day is a Monday, you'll get an episode of Still Got Legs. That's
Rain or shine, it will be there in your feed.
I mean, not always. Because look, it might be a day or two late, but like, look,
get off our fucking backs about it.
It'll be there at some point in the week. All right, that's the point. Let me see if a Christmas day ever does fall on a release day. And on our current schedule, I'm looking at Another Happy Pod. Excuse me. Yes, it does actually. 25th of December 2023. This very year, Lawrence.
Hot damn.
Christmas Day, we have to look forward to the episode Forest of the Dead, which is the second two-parter of the library episode with River Song.
What a fun Christmas time for all.
Exactly. Hey, who turned out the lights? So let's all look forward to that.
Lights famous for going off in Christmas time.
Exactly. That one with Elon Musk's ex-wife. I recently found out.
Yes, you didn't recently find out. I told you that like months ago.
That's what I said. Recently found out from you.
Oh, okay. I just wanted to make sure you weren't giving your outside credit to anyone else for letting you know that insight. Also, like, as funny as that is, I also think she's. I don't know this. This might be scandalous to say. I also think she might be a terrible person as well. So
I've heard she's a terrible person.
Okay, I mean, also she married a billionaire, so whatever.
Yeah.
Blah blah blah. Yeah, whatever.
She married a terrible person, so like, how great can she be? Really?
Yeah, exactly.
But
if she can put up with that, then
Billie Piper also married a terrible person, and she seems lovely.
that is true. Yes.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
isn't Lawrence Fox just the biggest fucking cretin?
one of the absolute biggest fuckheads going.
I've
mate.
never seen a more fragile man than that.
I know. What an absolute fucking dickhead.
Did you see him fail to burn like a pride flag or something in his garden one time?
Yeah.
He like tried to burn it and it wouldn't burn, and he threw it on the ground and was like, "You see?" And everyone's like, "Yeah, we saw you fucking not even be able to light a fire in your garden, man." With a fucking candle like lighter as well. Like it made the fire for you. You're still that fucking stupid.
What a dickhead.
Moron. Anyway, as Nathan said, if you have enjoyed this episode, then every single Monday, hopefully, you should be getting one of these bad boys. To recap everything said, go to Twitter, give us a little follow at Still Got Legs Pod. That'd be fun. You also get a little post reminder when we post new episodes and when they are out and you can listen to them. Be like Jeff Lemon, give us a nice review. That would be nice and appreciated. And share this with your mates. It's a new time for Doctor Who. The dawn of a new era approaches, so it'd be great to get some more people on board. And what better way to start than by rewatching the entire show?
Goodbye.